into investing recently during the pandemic, you probably come across Wall Street Bets, which is basically a subreddit with a bunch of people that just like to ask for others' advice and find, basically they call them plays on what they want to do in the stock market. Usually, most of these guys are doing calls. But one thing to note is a lot of them are just basically spending money that they don't care too much that they lose. I mean, some of them lose like huge, huge amounts of money. And, some of the people that post in these subreddits actually have some really good ideas, and actually they call things very uh, in a smart manner, and it actually pays off in like the next week or maybe span of a couple months where you actually make money. But a lot of times these guys just like to ride what others say blindly without thinking about anything. So you kind of have to do your own research on top of what you read in this subreddit. And within the subreddit, they have this, it's called YOLO plays. And basically, it's just them putting like huge chunks of their money, basically most of their money that they have usually, on like a call or a put. And they basically, it's called YOLO because it's usually a short contract, and it's usually most of the time these guys lose, in my opinion. That what I've seen. There's the occasional guys that win big, but most of the time guys are talking like I lost a bunch of money, and it sucks for them. At least in the recent market, that's been they've been calling it a kangaroo. So if you're new to investing, do you want to really listen to Wall Street Bets? My 2 cents is you probably shouldn't, because when they say they're YOLOing their money, it's basically like um, it basically is gambling and betting. I mean, they call themselves Wall Street Bets. It basically is gambling. So you want to like think about, would I do I want to gamble my money in the stock market or just do normal gambling? And if you're okay because you think the stock market is safer, go ahead. But trust me, you will lose money in the stock market. Don't think the stock market is any safer than, or at least, these YOLO calls and puts are any safer than going to the casino and putting it all on black or red. It's basically the same thing. I mean, it is basically what's going to happen. And what's worse is, in the stock market with options, at least, if it trades flat, it's even worse than just losing your money. You lose money and you have no say in the option. So it's kind of iffy. They have some good calls about like stocks they think are going to go up and whatnot, but most of the time these dudes are doing options. Very few of them are actually theta gang. Most of them are just either bears or bulls, putting it all on a call or put. So yeah. So in my opinion, you should probably stay away from Wall Street Bets for, I mean, I would say like a lot, but um, maybe like years until you're really good with the stock market. But if you have some money you want to, YOLO, I guess it's up to you. But what should you put your money in? I would say an ETF like SPY, VOO, or like QQQ. So SPY is like the most infamous S&P 500 ETF because this is the one where people trade the most options on. It's very liquid, meaning that a lot of people buy and sell this thing. So basically, your order is gonna always get filled, so you don't have to worry about that. I mean, VO is also pretty liquid, but SPY is basically Wall Street Bets, like uh, basically guinea pig. I swear these guys will like they have a huge influence on this stuff. I mean, on SPY at least, with how much shares they're moving around and options they're messing with. I'm pretty sure these dudes. I mean, not like a huge amount, but I'm pretty sure these guys have affected this thing on their own from time to time. I personally like VOO more. So SPY and VOO are both S&P 500, and then QQQ is the Nasdaq. Personally, I would do maybe both if you like. I mean, they have overlaps, but they're weighted differently and they give different returns, obviously. So I would do I would do a little bit of both, but it's up to you. Do your research. Just make sure you do, when you start off, some ETFs or even mutual funds if you want to do that. But ETFs like VOO, like QQQ, and some others if you want like real estate, so that you can be well diverse and that you don't have to worry about, balancing and all that. You can just put your money in, watch it grow, and you don't have to also worry about your calls or puts expiring at zero and then you lose all your money.